And welcome back to Ops with Void, and today we have a special video that basically is dealing with Last Voyage of Transylvania special mode and the interaction with French destroyers. So I'll have a normal video come up Monday like normal, but this one you get a weekend special, so lucky you for getting 2 videos from me this week. So with the Last Voyage of Transylvania, you're running tier 9s with these special camos, which I think could have had more work done into them. Which I'll talk about more into the game. But anyways, you get special camos, you get special buffs. For destroyers, it's plus 30% main battery traverse speed, a little bit on a buff on the main battery reload time, some torpedo speed buff for low and buff, and the torpedo loading time buff, and the rudder efficiency, meaning you rudder turns faster. So a lot of buffs for destroyers, but it doesn't directly boost survivability. It only indirectly boosts survivability by making you a little bit easy. It's mostly DPM output, whereas all the other ships, the cruisers and battleships, get survivability buffs. So Mogador, this is the build I'm using. It is more or less DPM build, although Adrenaline Rush would have been nice with this game, but this is more a PvP build. So that's that build with the equipment is going to be your standard. Oh yeah, I put firing battery range so you can French shoot from far. Or I do this because I can swap between the two if I'm going to play ranked with the Mogador, or clan battles or something where I don't want to be spotted all the time. Then you can go to the reload. But if you want to be shooting from far away, then you go for the gunfire control system. So this is more randoms, and this is, I guess, randoms and operations, if we ever do operations. And this one would be more for your competitive modes. Otherwise, it should be about the same. So, without any further ado, the show will begin and we'll hop into battle. It's just a random group. I'm not in a division or anything. I just decided to take the Mogador out and test something, which is what you are going to see. The submarines also get a torpedo reload buff, so that's good. The Ruprik's a good ship to have. Sejong I'm not too sure about because it doesn't have the torpedo buff that the destroyers have, so it still has the really long torpedo reload, unlike destroyers, which have half the time reload. I guess it gives it equal to like a destroyer because you have double the number of torpedoes, two racks on each side. So the camo, you notice the water that's splashing off the ship and the water itself don't quite match in colors, as they're just using the whatever gold yellow that's on the ship as the color for the splashing of the water, whereas the water itself is a much lighter color. It really makes it look like someone urinated all over the deck and is continuing to do so. That or someone spilled their Mountain Dew. Can't really tell between the two. So we're using speed boost because we're going to open up, and the shells travel so slow that you could just travel in a straight line and the shells will just hit behind you. Don't have to worry. It's a Japanese cruiser, so we're using armor piercing. Hopefully find some black ribbons. You could even do a little bit of maneuvering. And they just land behind you. So we're going to go ahead and collect the first, well, I guess this is technically the second of the shards. The first one's being right next to Transylvania. It's been a while since I've played a French destroyer, so bear in mind that my aim might be a little bit off from being out of practice. So we got the shard, and now we're going to go find out where the destroyers spawn. We're going to go spawn them, and then go right to their spawn. Yes, we're going to the filth. Because we don't care. French destroyers are filthy. And you're about to see why they are so filthy. Yep. There we go. We're done taking damage. That's it. That is all the damage we're taking from the filth. And we are right next to the spawn. So we're going to throw those torps ahead. Yep, and the destroyers. They also get the slow guns. And so they're shooting behind us. And not hitting us while we get to hit them. Although they take half damage. So I guess it's kind of fair. Oh, our torps miss. Oh well. Yeah, we don't take much damage. We don't take any damage, and they barely take any damage. But what we are doing by being this close, we are drawing fire from our allies. So we are technically tanking. We went ahead and made sure that one of them were dead, because when they respawn after a certain time, so that glow at their top, when it reaches peak, that's when they teleport. And then they'll come back in, they'll respawn in between waves. And when they respawn at full health. They don't. So whatever you do, if you don't kill them, they'll just come back at full health. So you need to focus on those ships. And now we are going to set a record with the earliest I've seen all 3 shards completed. Because we are out here in the filth next to the shards and the towers. And so we went ahead and went the first salvo with HE to clear the barrels, and we're going to do armor piercing because that's another Japanese cruiser. The Octopus are Mogamis. I don't know which guns they're using, but they are Mogamis. I believe they're using 203s. If you notice, we're getting those black ribbons from over here. And another thing about French destroyers is with the cooldown, they're actually pretty good destroyers with torpedoes. Even though those torpedoes are slow. What? Oh, no, never mind. Because of the buff, they are not slow anymore. They are fast. And they hit decently hard too. They're slower than others, but boosting them to 98 knots actually makes them good. And with a 40-second reload, and so we're going to see where the 2 destroyers spawn again. I'm just running, enjoying it. Or you get a comment here in a second. See, how is Mogador not dead? I've been in the filth in this Mogador for a while, and oh look, we found them. Although I think my torpedoes are a little bit back, and because we're so close, it's hard to just outrun. Oh, we got 1 torpedo. So we need to put some distance in between them, us and them, so that we can. And so we're focusing on this one to get it dead. But yeah, no, we have put some distance so that the shells, they fall behind us rather than on us. So as you saw, we took a little bit of damage from these. So you want to have some distance. 5 kilometers is actually really good. And it's even better now that the filth reduces visibility. So instead of having a 7-kilometer detection, we're down to 5.3. And there I put in my comment that the French DZs are filthy. Absolutely filthy. So the reason behind this, why we can do this, is because French destroyers have a special mechanic that other destroyers don't have. And that's they have damage saturation. And actually their main hull can saturate to the point where you take little to no damage. And that is why people call French destroyers filthy. And this damage saturation mechanic is why we're not taking any damage in the filth, because the filth does damage directly to the main hull, and since we're not taking, well, we're saturated the main hull, so only the extremities can take damage, we're not taking damage. Now the main batteries of ships, they go very slow, but the secondaries, they do not. They will hit everywhere. And the fact that they hit everywhere is what makes them dangerous, and they are actually more accurate than the main batteries a lot of times. And there we picked up our ray. So you do not want to be in secondary range, especially the Varg. The Varg is a Bismarck. So, yeah. Well, based off the Bismarck hull, so it has more accurate secondaries, and all the secondaries pen higher forms of armor. And we're using our consumables because we can. Trying to increase our damage output because the steel rat there has reduced damage. And so since the destroyers are killed, that's that next wave, we don't have the wave of destroyers. They would spawn right about now or a little bit earlier. But since we killed all three, we don't have to worry about them spawning again. Next is going to be the second to last wave. And in the second to last wave, we are also going to get the Great Gorgon. I will let my trusty not division, but whatever, the rest of my team take care of the Gorgon while I'm over here. The Gorgon spawns on the other side, and it has nasty secondaries, so I don't want to get close, not while I'm in here in the filth like this. But Leviathan, Iowa class, also has decent secondaries. I don't know why it's locked onto the octopus. In game, I had it actually locked onto the Leviathan. And as you notice, they are actually doing extra damage to me while I'm out here in the filth. So anything that hits me hits hard. So, well, never mind. It's probably just because it's a 203 Mogami. And so I'm trying to make sure that I'm out of range. So there, now that they can't hit me again. And that's another thing. I was trying to stick behind the butt of the Leviathan because it is an Iowa class. The bow and the stern are the blind spots for the secondaries. And there, that goes down, and so now I'm a lot safer. And this is the point where it's nice being so stealthy as well, because once the Rasputin comes around, I can just be a torp boat around them. I don't have to worry about needing to use my guns like I'm using with the ghoul here. Need to go back and see what each of these ships are. Because a lot of these are also ships you can use in the previous Halloween modes. And so you could actually be in them, and so they're noted somewhere what each of these ships are. In the public test version, the Rasputin spawned pretty close into the circle, so they were in the circle that's protecting all the other ships pretty quickly. And when the enemy ships are out of the filth and in the circle near Transylvania, they take full damage. But when they're out here in the filth, then they are taking half damage. And it is, I think, about half damage. And this is where the 5.3 detection is really nice, because it gives us, and the 100 knot torpedoes, is it gives us time to maneuver, and the torpedoes are pretty much well, they're going to hit mostly. And with the reload buff, as you saw, with about a single turn, they were pretty much reloaded, and now our other set's reloaded too. Knowing that the guns are turned the other way for the other ships, I didn't mind opening up, especially since by the time its guns turned around, my torpedoes would hit it. So that was all calculated. Now that Rasputin is going to go after whatever the closest target is, so I can shoot at it all I want, and it doesn't matter. But the submarines or the other Harbins or Ruprecht or whatever, there's so many ships here that have torpedoes. I think there's only one ship here that doesn't have torpedoes. No, two. Seattle and the Marco Polo. So there, we survived on 50 hit points, barely survived, and we were able to do 200k damage to a multitude of ships. I know the spawn with the Leviathan there, that was a bit of a bad move on my side, but I haven't played it enough that I know where all the spawn points are, like I did with all the others. And this mode does have some changes, like the second wave of ships after the destroyers first appear, those spawn in two different spots. And yes, I am filthy. And as you just saw, one of the submarines went out to see the filth and went and died. And so when someone dies, you have the Will of Fauna, which means more reload and more damage, and you take less damage. So 37 torpedoes hits, 4 kills, only 3 citadels, 6 fires, 285 shell main battery hits. And we got 5-star with our C-star. We're not top of the team. No, that belongs to these two. The Sejong actually did pretty well. But we are the funniest on our team. So, yeah, with 61k to that Rasputin, 47k to the other Rasputin, and we didn't do that much. We just mainly were silly. I mean, we weren't bad, but we were more silly than anything. And so if you want to go, have fun, be silly, and do a challenge where you have lower HP, French destroyers, do it this weekend. Let's see who all can master the art of running through the filth. Decent credits too. And with that, I hope to see you in a few days when I upload my next video. Hint, it's going to be another French ship. And then if you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe. That'll help. But I can't make you do anything because I'm not your mother. Have a good one.